Hey, this is Pranav here, and today I want to talk to you about a case study. I want to talk to you about how a struggling business was able to create a strong positioning for itself by using empathy, storytelling, and focusing on a specific audience. So let's talk about this scenario, right? Let's say that there is a road, all right, and let's say you're sitting in a car and you're driving on this particular road. So let's say that you are here and you are nicely going, you're enjoying the view. This is the car that you are in, and now as you're going through this car, you feel this is you start feeling the need to you start feeling tired. You feel the need to have coffee, right? And so you start hunting for coffee shops. And then you come across a few coffee shops because you have just hit a town and you come across a few coffee shops. Okay, so these are the coffee shops that you come across. And there is a specific coffee shop by Mike, which is here, and all the other coffee shops are here as well, right? The coffee here costs you $1.8. The coffee here will cost you $2. The coffee here will, let's say, cost you $2.2, and the coffee here will cost you $1.5. Okay. Apart from these prices, there is absolutely nothing different within these coffee shops or in between these coffee shops. It's as if the price is the same. I mean, the price is the only differentiator for them. In this particular scenario, where would you go? If all the coffee shops are the same, which coffee shop will you choose? I think the answer is pretty simple. Maybe you'll choose the first one. This is the first one, right? Because it's the closest. Or maybe you'll choose this one because it's the cheapest. That is the issue with pricing, right? I mean, if you're only competing on price, people will choose the cheapest option. Like Seth Godin says, the problem with the race to the bottom is that you might actually win. And so pricing is a really bad way to differentiate or to position yourself. And now Mike was feeling the same. Mike was feeling the same problem. Mike was experiencing the same problem because he was just not able to differentiate. He knew that his brand had become just like all the other coffee brands, and basically he had become a commodity. Now it's not that Mike hadn't tried. Mike had tried different things to differentiate. He started offering candies. Okay, he started offering a lot of candies. He had kept I think 25 or maybe 200 types of candies, if I'm not wrong, to in order to give to his customers. He also kept a variety of coffee. It wasn't just like one coffee type or two types of coffee that he was offering. It was actually giving away a lot of different varieties of coffee. Okay, so these are the coffee mugs, and he had actually 25 of these coffee mugs that or coffee types that he was selling, but somehow it just wasn't working. Despite all of these efforts, Mike was just not able to create an effective positioning so that this particular guy who is traveling, what can Mike do to attract his attention, and how can Mike's coffee shop stand out? How can they stand apart from the crowd? Is a question that he was wrestling with. And he was thinking, he was sitting in his cafe and he was thinking and he was worried because he knew that his money was running out. And if when his money ran out, he would have no option but to go and live with his mother. So he was definitely worried. And that's when a customer entered, and the customer basically said, "Hey, can you give me your strongest cup of coffee?" And Mike absentmindedly handed him, a big Americano cup, a big Americano black coffee, and the customer was on his way. And that is when Mike basically had a light bulb moment. Okay, this is where he had the light bulb moment because he realized that there are many customers who basically ask for the strongest coffee. Now, why is that? What is the reason behind that? Well, most of the Mike's customers consisted of workers, construction workers. They consisted of truck drivers and so on, and they had only one intention. The intention that they had was that they needed a spike in their energy. They were struggling, they were tired, they were sleepy, and because of these things, because of being tired and because of being sleepy, they basically felt the need to to have something which will give them energy. Okay, something which will take them from this tiredness and sleepiness to energy. And Mike's coffee was solving that problem for them. All right, that was like an aha moment, a light bulb moment for him, and that's when Mike decided to start a coffee brand known as Death Wish Coffee. And the thing with Death Wish Coffee was that it is the strongest coffee brand on the planet. At least at that particular time, it definitely was. And so Mike started Death Wish Coffee, and the promise was that okay, this is the strongest coffee brand on the planet. Okay. Now, why has this? I mean, firstly, let me just start by saying that Death Wish Coffee is now a formidable brand in the coffee industry. It's one of the most successful brands out there. And I just want to talk about why this positioning actually helped the brand, or what exactly happened when Mike decided to shift this positioning. Well, the thing is, if I have to draw an axis for you, like just an XY axis for you, and just show you how the brand was positioned before and after. Okay, so before this Eureka moment, all the brands were cluttered here. Okay, all the coffee shops were in the same quadrant. There was absolutely no differentiator between them. The only common thing was that okay, they were serving coffee. Okay, and the one that was winning was probably the one that was the cheapest. What Mike decided to do was that he decided to move from here to this particular quadrant. He decided to change his quadrant. He said, okay, you know what? I will still continue to sell coffee, but the change is that I will now sell the strongest coffee. Right? So all the other brands were stuck here because they didn't really have any unique differentiator, but this was the only brand which was able to make this bold statement that I am the strongest brand. And that is how he was able to create a unique positioning for them. Because now when a person thinks of coffee and strong coffee, or coffee plus strength, that is when he thinks of Death Wish Coffee, right? Now, I mean, it's easy for us to, get wowed by this story, and then we can still be clueless because we have no clue how to replicate this for our business. And so just wanted to talk about what we can learn from this. So one of the insights from this is that Mike focused on a tiny audience. Okay, I mean there could be multiple audiences that he can focus on, right? I mean he can focus on this very cool. Let me draw that again. He could have focused on this, really cool dude who is a 25-year-old kid from college who comes to the coffee shop with his girlfriend. Or he could have done it for a professor who, let's say, has specs and teaches chemistry. He could have done that. He could have done it for a 32-year-old girl who is an aspiring author. He could have done that, right? Who needed coffee as a boost, a coffee experience, who needed to sit in the coffee shop and complete her book. I mean, she could have been his target audience, but he decided to basically go with a target audience that was very, very specific, which is of a truck driver who was feeling sleepy. Okay, that was the audience that he went with. So a very, very specific audience is what Mike decided to focus on. So that's the first element, okay, which is that you focus on a specific audience, not a general audience, not mass market, but a specific audience. Okay, that was the first thing. The other missing piece was along with the specific audience, you combine that with empathy, because empathy is absolutely important here. It's a non-negotiable, because both of these ingredients are actually extremely important. If you see, it's not that if you have a too big an audience, then having empathy is pointless, because it's very difficult to solve the problem of a very, very big audience. At the same time, you might have a very specific audience, but if you don't have empathy for them, if you don't really know what problem you're solving for them, then that is going to be a problem. So this is the ingredient, right? I mean, being specific and showing empathy is what really worked for him. The other thing to note is that he really went for the edge. So what do you mean by an edge? So let's say if this is a some kind of a shape, right? I mean, these are all the edges, and most of the brands are comfortable being in the middle, right? I mean, when you say things like, okay, we are high quality, or when you say that things that we have a very good customer care service, you're basically being safe. You are not taking any risks. But Mike decided to take a risk. Okay, he chose the edge of being strongest. Okay, similarly, there could be a different coffee brand who might choose the edge of being the healthiest, right? Or there could be another coffee brand who might choose the edge of, I don't know, being the most sustainable brand or environment friendly coffee brand. Or maybe there could be another edge where the coffee brand makes the promise that we are the most, luxurious coffee, right? So all of these edges are basically fine. There is absolutely nothing wrong with these edges, of course, provided that they actually solve a problem. Maybe you might just realize that there is no audience for the healthiest coffee. It could happen. But Mike was empathetic. He chose a tiny audience. He knew their problem, and that's when he chose this positioning. So the point here is that you can't remain safe. You can't be safe. You have to go right to the edge, and you have to pick something which is a little extreme, right? You have to pick something which is either too safe or too strong or too expensive or too luxurious or too healthy or whatever that is. So just a few examples of how people choose the edge. So Volvo decided to mix only two words. They said if you want a safe car, so safety plus car is equal to Volvo, right? Then if you want sustainability, okay, if you want sustainability and if you want a car, then you go with Tesla. As simple as that. So sustainability is an edge, safety is an edge. Similarly, if you want strength, right? I mean, if you want the strongest coffee, then you go with Death Wish coffee. So that is all from my side. In just to summarize, I think we need to focus on a very specific tiny audience. That is number one. We need to have empathy for them, because without empathy is just not possible. Then we need to have the courage to go to the edges and have a very bold positioning, and which might repel a few people, but which attracts a few. And then the way we basically build a positioning is we mix two ingredients. We take something which is an edge and we mix it with the category that we are, and the positioning is created. I hope you find this video useful. Thanks for watching.